at 10.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Peter Dubois.
And I'm Beth Jones. First tonight, the defense's work in the Jordan David Bishop trial continued today with testimony from a group of licensed psychologists.
Our Matthew Jurancic has the latest.
Following Wednesday's testimonies, the defense called forensic psychologists Dr. Diane Tennis and Charles Robinson, as well as clinical psychologist Dr. David Lawrence, to take the stand to argue that Bishop was, quote, in a dissociative state of mind, end quote, when the shooting occurred. Dr. Tennis was ordered to perform a series of psychological tests on Bishop after he posted bail in October 2019. In her reports, she was the first to diagnose Bishop with PTSD based on the symptoms he exhibited, specifically sleep disturbance and flashbacks to when he served in the Iraq War. She also found the symptoms were consistent with someone with poor impulse control. Dr. Lawrence then took the stand, agreeing with the findings from Dr. Tennis's report. He also said the trauma Bishop suffered from being choked out and his head hitting the pavement likely triggered him to act the way he did without even realizing what he was doing. Dr. Robinson then shared his observations on Bishop based on the surveillance video and his interactions with Bishop. He claims Bishop hitting his head on the pavement likely triggered his behaviors. Bishop declined to take the stand to be questioned by the prosecution. Closing statements will take place Friday morning, with a decision following jury deliberation. In Bangor, Matthew Jurancic reporting for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Union Street in Bangor was briefly shut down earlier today after a vehicle went off the road and into a stream. Assistant Chief Greg Hodge with the Bangor Fire Department says the driver of a Jeep Compass entered the soft shoulder and overcorrected, causing the vehicle to go off the road and into the water.
Luckily, one of our off-duty fire lieutenants just happened to be passing by, stopped and jumped in the water, assisted the gentleman out.
Are told the driver was not injured in the crash.
Well, police say they've interrupted an out-of-state drug operation in northern Penobscot County. 2 people were arrested on Wednesday after drug agents and police searched a home at 3040 Lee Road in Lee. Maine Drug Enforcement Agency Commander Peter Arno says they seized half a pound of fentanyl with a street value of $37,000, along with roughly $20,000 in suspected drug proceeds. They also found several guns. 36-year-old Pedro Manuel Sanchez Lugo from the Dominican Republic and 27-year-old Tom Severance from Lee were arrested and charged with aggravated drug trafficking. Arno says the search was part of a months-long investigation.
The Maine Attorney General's office is warning the public about an active online scam involving the fraudulent sale of used or antique motor vehicles. They say the scammers are using the names of Maine businesses and individuals associated with those businesses to advertise vehicles for sale. According to the AG's office, scammers get unwitting buyers to wire thousands of dollars for vehicles they will never receive. The scammers are registering fraudulent website domains using the names of the Maine businesses and are using emails associated with those domains. Although they do not appear to be physically based in Maine, the scammers are using phone numbers with 207 area codes. They are also using documents that appear to be legitimate, including bills of sale. If a consumer expresses concerns, they may offer excuses or tracking information, but eventually they will end communications and the vehicle will never arrive. Now, if you believe you may have been a victim of this scam, you are encouraged to submit a complaint to the Maine Attorney General's office.
Maine's Chief Justice says the state's backlog of court cases remains 60 to 65% higher than pre-pandemic levels. Chief Justice Valerie Stanfill told lawmakers Thursday that the primary cause stems from the inability to hold jury trials early in the pandemic. She says other causes include a big increase in felony crimes, the opioid epidemic, and mental health disorders. Stanfill used her State of the Judiciary address to a joint session of the Maine legislature to promote the governor's budget proposal. That includes 4 new judges as well as more clerks and marshals. She also wants a pay raise for judges.
Well, a proposed bill would provide a one-time payment that aims to support the Maine Lobster Legal Defense Fund through the end of the decade. House Republican Representative Billy Bob Falkingham has proposed LD 710 to the Committee on Marine Resources. Now, if the bill is passed, it would allocate $500,000 to the Maine Lobster Legal Defense Fund.
But the bill I'm proposing today is going to be funded in the same way that it was last time, with fees from lobster fishermen's licenses. So this bill will actually be funded by the lobstermen themselves and not use any state tax dollars.
Fockingham says the bill has received bipartisan support, and he hopes that support will help it to pass quickly. Fockingham anticipates the bill will go to committee in April and the House soon after.
Maine Recovery Advocacy Project released its legislative priorities for the year during a webinar this evening. The group is a network of advocates, elected officials, and organizations all working together towards finding solutions to lower substance use and overdose rates. Maine saw a nearly 12% increase in overdose deaths in 2022, which they hope to address through legislation in 2023. During the meeting, Democratic Representative Lori Osher announced she's introducing new legislation to establish harm reduction centers throughout the state.
The bill directs the Department of Health and Human Services to create a 2-year pilot project establishing and operating a harm reduction health center to provide counseling and health service referrals and a place to use previously obtained controlled substances for clients of the center.
And so this bill really is about expanding healthcare and expanding access to healthcare to individuals who oftentimes do not have the easiest way of connecting with the services that they need.
To learn more about Maine Recovery Advocacy Project, you can visit recoveryvoices.com/ME.
A House Republican has presented a bill to help combat the ongoing school bus driver shortage. Representative Gary Drinkwater of Milford presented LD 1030 to the Committee on Transportation. The bill aims to make the qualifications needed for a school bus driver's license more specific to that job and not just a commercial driver's license. Drinkwater says he has no interest in cutting safety corners and that all the bill does is cut out unneeded information from the certification for bus drivers.
For example, why does a school bus driver need to know how to secure a load? Why do they need to know how to hang meat? Those are things that CDL requires, but it's not pertinent to a school bus license.
According to Drinkwater, the bill is receiving bipartisan support, and he is hopeful that support will only grow as the bill moves along through the legislative process.
We've all seen costs go up at the grocery store, and it's also affecting school meal budgets. One school nutritionist says school systems across the country are having difficulty with rising prices. Johnny Maffey sat down with food directors to find out how they're adjusting.
We've been, on average, seeing about a 20% increase in food cost. Walk-in freezer.
Portland Schools interim food director Dawn Hilton says cafeteria workers are trying to stay efficient. Over in RSU 14,
food is costing anywhere from 30 to 300% more.
School nutrition director Jeannie Riley says egg prices tripled and other staples like milk costs increasing are forcing them to adjust.
We've really needed to start purchasing from multiple vendors.
Sometimes they get a warning.
When vendors are aware that there may be an upcoming price increase, they will try to let us know ahead of time.
There has been federal help in the form of USDA meal reimbursements. 15 cents per meal for breakfast and 40 cents for lunch. This covers around $300,000 of Portland's anticipated $330,000 meal expense increase for 2023. But these funds are set to expire in June. Riley just went to Washington to try to extend it.
One of the reasons we were in Washington was to ask our senators and our representatives to support keeping that funding.
If we didn't have this additional help, I don't know how we would cover those expenses.
Because without the funding, you can't keep up with the inflation. You can't keep up with the high costs.
Right. Making the funding consistent with the inflationary costs of food is critically important.
What was it like working with so many people from across the country to try to solve this problem that you said over 95% of people are facing?
It's really powerful.
There are currently proposals to extend the funding, but nothing is set in stone.
And that was Johnny Maffey reporting. Maine House Republicans have proposed a bill that would abolish Maine's income tax. Our Devin Dagnall met with a representative who proposed that bill.
An income tax discourages work. It discourages labor. It's different than all other taxes in that regard. Thursday afternoon, Representative David Boyer of Poland proposed LD 835 to the Committee on Taxation. If approved, the bill would transition the state of Maine from charging income tax over the next 5 years, starting in 2024. Each year, the state's income tax would incrementally decrease to allow each state department to adjust its annual budgets accordingly.
I figured 20% every year gives each state department time and leniency to make those cuts. Find wasteful spending. You're telling me that there's no wasteful spending in government? I have a hard time believing that.
The bill is not without its opposition. Boyer states that opponents of the bill are worried if approved, it would leave the state with too little funding to complete its full duties.
You know, we're looking at a 20% increase roughly from the last budget. So are our roads getting 20% better? Is our services getting 20% better? No, they're not. So this is a reasonable proposal. Cut some spending and let Mainers keep more of what they earn.
According to Boyer, it is expected that the bill will reach the House floor within the next 4 to 6 weeks. During the committee hearing, Boyer acknowledged that it is unlikely this bill will pass, but he will continue to fight for tax breaks where he can. In Augusta, Devin Dagnall, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
President Biden has approved the state of Maine's request for a major disaster declaration for several counties in the wake of this past December's severe winter storm that battered the state. The president's approval of the disaster declaration for Franklin, Knox, Oxford, Somerset, Waldo, and York counties unlocks federal assistance through the Public Assistance Program. That program provides supplemental grants to state, local, and tribal governments so that communities can respond quickly and recover from major disasters or emergencies. The disaster designation also unlocks federal funding so they can develop hazard mitigation plans and rebuild in a way that reduces future disaster losses within their communities. High winds and significant rainfall during that December storm led to substantial flooding, extensive road washouts, and closures, as well as widespread power outages and infrastructure damage that are beyond the state's capability to address. We certainly felt the repercussions of that storm throughout the state.
Yeah, for sure. There was widespread damage, everything from, like they said, road washouts to, a massive tree that came down in my yard and basically took out a shed that's attached to the back of my house.
Yeah.
So, it was definitely no joke, for sure.
Certainly devastating, and glad to see that has been granted, and there's going to be more work done to help recover from that.
Absolutely. Alrighty, well, in terms of the weather that we're currently dealing with, pretty mild, pretty balmy, especially by comparison. And let's see what's coming our way in the next few hours with a first check of our forecast.
Thank you so much, Beth. Happy Thursday. It's almost Friday. That means the weekend's around the corner. Our first weather is brought to you by Saliba's Rug Cleaners, Maine's largest rug cleaning destination for over 70 years. What a messy day out there today. 2 miles, that's our visibility here in town right now. Look at Waterville, less than 2 miles. Augusta, around a mile. And there are some pockets of even less than half a mile visibilities right now. So things are starting to slightly improve, but it is still not looking as good as it will be in the next 5 hours. We had some really heavy rain earlier today, especially up north. Take a look even north, closer to Caribou, north of Millinocket, north of Greenville. We're looking at mostly snow, and some of the snow was coming down pretty steadily to even heavy in some cases. So it did pile up in some spots where several inches of snowfall did pile up closer to the Caribou area. Winds are looking pretty calm, 3 miles here in town, 6 miles in Bar Harbor. Machias, same story. Not looking too bad. Winds literally came down a little bit. They were more on the breezy end this morning. But today, for the most part, things were looking pretty calm, and they are looking pretty calm right now as well. Later on tonight, though, we're going to continue to cool off with temperatures hovering close to the freezing mark. Beth?
So balmy temperatures, but you and I were just talking about how it definitely created some eerie fog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The type of thing you don't want to see, or that, kind of looks like the type of movie you wouldn't want to watch by yourself.
Right. Maybe we're kind of looking like a Stephen King movie tonight, but you know what? That's exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a compliment.
All righty.
We'll take it.
Well, still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, Senator Susan Collins had questions for Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg about funding for Maine Maritime Academy.
And the Maine town puts a moratorium on new solar farms. We'll have those stories and more local news after this short break.
There's a lot to love about you. With so much to love, you don't want to miss the Quirk Subaru A Lot to Love event. Get 3.9% financing when you purchase 2023 models. It's your Subaru. Find it at Quirk.
Take your taste buds on a journey and experience the brand new international menu Tuesday through Thursday only at the Lucerne Inn and Ryan's Pub. Every Tuesday, enjoy their delicious French cuisine. On Wednesdays, enjoy their memorable Italian delicacies. And every Thursday, be ready for a fiesta with their Mexican favorites. A full 5-course dinner for just $29.95 per person. And don't forget about their all-you-can-eat seafood Fridays. The Lucerne Inn. Beautiful dining with a delicious view.
Hey, it's Eric from Green Bear 420. We've been in business since 2010 and going strong, so stop in and check us out. We specialize in glass art by over 100 local artists and even have live glass blowing. Plus, we carry incense, novelties, t-shirts, and hard-to-find items. We have tons of local products for the tie-dye wearing person in your circle of friends. Come see us at 531 Moosehead Trail in Newport. And remember, Green Bear 420, it's not just a store, it's a lifestyle.
Cody Rhodes competes in a SmackDown ring for the first time in 6 years. It's an all-new Friday Night SmackDown, live at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox.
It's your car, it's your SUV, it's your truck. Experience the pre-owned difference with a huge selection of over 500 used vehicles at Quirk Motor City Used Vehicle Center, 377 Hogan Road, Bangor. It's your car. Find it at Quirk Motor City.
You can join Fox 22 and ABC 7 online at foxbangor.com. Be a part of the conversation on Twitter and join our Facebook family at Fox ABC Maine. Follow, like, watch. Download the new Fox Bangor app from the App Store or Google Play and get your news anytime, anywhere.
Senator Susan Collins questioned Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg today on why the president's budget doesn't include money for Maine Maritime Academy's shoreline improvements. MMA will be replacing its national security multi-mission vessel in 2024, and there will need to be some upgrades to the docks and shoreline technology to make way for the new training ship called the State of Maine. Collins says that the inconsistency in funding for the vessels, but not the infrastructure needed to service them, leaves the project short.
The president's budget does not include funding to continue the support for the shoreside infrastructure improvements at our nation-state maritime academies that are necessary for berthing these newly constructed vessels.
But there is, I think, going to have to be a continued conversation about the responsibilities on the vessel itself and then the shoreside resources.
Money has been allocated to build 5 vessels to replace older ships in the Maine Maritime Academy's fleet throughout the U.S. The president's budget for 2024 does include $19.2 million to cover some unanticipated steel cost increases for building one of the proposed training vessels.
Plans to build the world's tallest flagpole in a Down East town are officially on hold. The town of Columbia Falls voted on Tuesday to approve a development moratorium pausing all large-scale developments, including the Flagpole of Freedom project. 63 residents voted in favor of the hold, with 17 voting against. Town officials say the intention of that hold goes beyond current proposed projects.
It was already highly on our radar. Like, we need to start ramping up our ordinances just to make sure we're protecting the community from serious, harm from developments that may occur. Again, a city building, you kind of have to have a structure for these sorts of things to protect the local community.
The 180-day delay is already in effect. Attorney for the town, Aga Dixon, says that a planning workshop focusing on the next steps will take place on May 6th.
Well, a Maine town has placed a temporary ban on solar developments after residents shared concerns about moving forward with commercial projects. Our David Ledford spoke with members of that town.
Corinth residents approved a 6-month development moratorium Tuesday. The temporary hold prevents further establishment of commercial solar farms in the town, but will not affect the 3 solar developments that have already been approved. Town manager Stephen Fields says that some community members have shared concerns about the effect additional solar farms could have on the environment, the overall look of the town, and the property value of nearby buildings.
The concern is obviously the amount of acres they're going to take up and the size of the field that the megawatts that are going to be producing on those solar fields as well. So looking at a variety of different aspects to develop policies and procedures in place for those coming into town to abide by.
However, not all town residents feel that solar farms are a drawback to the community.
It'll probably bring some more jobs around, don't it? I mean, and maybe save us a little bit of money on our light bill. But yeah, I think it'd be good for it. I mean, I think it's good for the towns, but you know.
Fields says the moratorium will give the town time to plan for the future and determine what is best for everyone involved.
Something that goes along with this process is times change, and we kind of have to look for the future to figure out exactly where we want to position the town for protection for our community, but also for the citizens to the best of our ability.
In Corinth, David Ledford, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
$16 million has been awarded for shelters and housing resources in Maine. Maine Housing is giving that money to 17 different projects all across the state. 4 of the grants awarded today will support projects in Portland, the biggest amount going to the Center for Regional Prosperity. That's the fundraising arm of the Greater Portland Council of Governments. The group proposed a new 280-bed shelter in Portland, according to Maine Housing. City leaders just held a grand opening ceremony at a different shelter just yesterday. During that time, officials acknowledged there was still many more people in need of services and shelter. As for the grant announced today, the projects will help support a mix of housing, shelters, warming centers, and support services. It's not just Portland that's getting help. The projects are getting a variety of grants, span all the way from Sanford to Presque Isle, Lewiston to Washington County.
Our service center areas, our big cities, are oftentimes overrun by the homeless situation, and we need other communities to be able to step up and do what they can do. And so we're seeing some of that here.
Comes from Governor Mills' Winter Emergency Energy Relief Plan. All of the properties and projects have to be functional and up and running by next fall.
Certainly no shortage of need for that kind
of
funding and those resources.
Yeah, and all across the state, too.
Yeah. Well, coming up on the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22, a deadly infectious fungus is spreading throughout hospitals across the nation, often striking the most vulnerable.
And friction already appearing in the Republican Party long before the primaries officially begin. We'll have the details. Stay tuned.
Looking to buy or sell a home? The More True team of Better Homes and Gardens works throughout the state of Maine with both buyers and sellers with a focus on the greater Bangor area. Give the ladies of the More True team a call today or visit their Facebook page.
Family owned and operating in the Bangor area for more than 10 years. Crosby's Welding is here to help you. We specialize in steel, stainless steel, and aluminum welding and fabrication. We serve many of the local industries from Maine lobstermen to the commercial trucking industry and everything in between. Fully mobile on-site construction services right down to custom signs and fire pits. Fast, friendly, reliable service. Give us a call today for a free estimate, 974-7815.
When you've experienced fire and smoke damage in your home, when pipes break and you have water everywhere, when you're concerned about your family's health because of mold, you need a friendly face to take care of it all. You need the friendly faces of Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. We're just a click or call away. Whatever life throws at you, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration is here for you. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories. We'll handle the rest.
Here at the Eddington store, we have what you're craving. From Holton Dairy Farm products to our daily breakfast, lunch, and dinner specials. Did I mention we have fresh cut meats? From hamburger to steaks and even fresh produce, we have what you're craving. And while you're here, Don't forget your ice cream at the Dairy Bar and homemade whoopie pies. Are you low on fuel? We offer gas, diesel, and propane too. The Eddington Store, we're more than your average convenience store. We look forward to seeing you.
Sunday on Fox.
Start your engine! I'm gonna light it up!
The NASCAR Cup Series takes on the Circuit of the Americas. On this road course, every turn is a battle, and every lap a beast. Whoa. All tracks are built to go fast, but this one was born to thrill. The Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix, Sunday at 3 Eastern on Fox.
Looking to buy or sell a home? The More True team of Better Homes and Gardens works throughout the state of Maine with both buyers and sellers with a focus on the greater Bangor area. Give the ladies of the More True team a call today or visit their Facebook page.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Police and demonstrators clashed in Paris as nationwide protesting continued over new legislation aimed at raising France's retirement age. Fox's Alex Hogan has the story.
After weeks of protesting, French labor unions organized mass demonstrations and strikes across France. Hundreds of thousands of people taking to the streets to protest a new bill that aims to raise the country's retirement age by 2 years to 64 years old. That's a bill that was pushed through France's parliament without a vote by French President Emmanuel Macron.
He is not a king, and he should listen to his people. The people say no.
The protests led to disruptions in travel across France, with demonstrators blocking roads, train stations, and major ports. Flights at airports in Paris were also impacted, and popular tourist sites like the Eiffel Tower and the Palace of Versailles were closed. Police in riot gear using tear gas to disperse the rowdy crowds. Despite the violence and the fact that many workers would not be paid for this day, many said they did not regret the mass show of solidarity.
This year, perhaps maybe our holidays won't be so great, but I think it's worth it. It's worth the sacrifice.
And while critics accuse Macron of being out of touch with the public, he's not backing down. He believes it's the only way to keep France's retirement system financed.
We don't necessarily want to hear the truth, but I'm telling you that this reform is not a luxury. It's not fun. It's a necessity for the country.
The bill will be reviewed by France's Constitutional Council in the coming weeks. This can only become law if the council approves it. In London, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
Meanwhile, a potentially deadly fungal infection is on the rise. The CDC warning Americans about the rapidly spreading fungus as more and more healthcare workers are confronting the bug, largely resistant to many of the drugs typically used to treat it. Fox's William LaJeunesse has details.
The CDC sounding an alarm about a potentially deadly fungus rapidly spreading across the country. Candida auris is a form of yeast that easily circulates and can infect wounds, ears, and the bloodstream. It can also live on the skin.
And we're mostly concerned because it's much more resistant to antifungal medications than other species.
The fungus primarily threatens those with weak immune systems or patients with existing illnesses in hospitals and nursing homes.
It likes to seek out patients who are already ill, and it generally spreads within institutions.
The CDC says up to 60% of those infected by the fungus died, though many were already seriously ill. Treatment is challenging, doctors say, because C. auris is drug resistant and doesn't just live in the human body, but on surfaces where it can spread to others.
That's a problem for hospitals because despite everything infection control personnel do in the hospital, trying to disinfect all those surfaces, this candida can persist and can infect another patient.
Cases tripled in the U.S. in the last 3 years and are now in more than half the states.
The COVID-19 pandemic likely contributed to more spread because of all the strain put on public health and healthcare facilities.
While health officials are on high alert, the CDC reports no immediate risk to the general public.
Generally healthy people, we consider low risk for getting C. auris, and there's not really evidence that transmission is happening in the community.
Medical experts say early diagnosis and proper treatment is critical for those at high risk. For everyone else, doctors recommend regular hand washing to prevent the spread. In Los Angeles, William Lajeunesse, Fox News.
TikTok CEO faced a congressional grilling over whether the social media app is a major national security threat amid concerns the company is giving the Chinese government unrestricted access to the data of tens of millions of Americans. Xiaoshu claimed there is a separation between TikTok and the Chinese state, but lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are not buying it. Fox's Aisha Hasni reports.
Do you think you saved TikTok today?
TikTok CEO Shou Chew ignoring Fox's questions as he left a grueling 5-hour-long hearing on Capitol Hill.
I will remind you that making false or misleading statements to Congress is a federal crime.
52 members of the House Energy and Commerce Committee grilling him over the app's impact on young users.
Are teenagers in particular shown more distressing content?
The opposite is true.
Privacy concerns.
Privacy, content manipulation concerns raised about TikTok are really not unique to us.
And its ownership by the Chinese company ByteDance.
Do you own shares in ByteDance, sir?
Yes, I do.
But Democrats and Republicans became increasingly frustrated with what they were hearing or didn't hear.
A lot of your answers are a bit nebulous. They're not yes or no.
And the hearing brought to a halt when Florida Congresswoman Kat Cammack played a TikTok video of a gun with a threatening message about today's hearing. She says was posted 41 days ago.
You expect us to believe that you are capable of maintaining the data security, privacy, and security of 150 million Americans where you can't even protect the people in this room?
Chew later reported TikTok removed the video.
I was briefed during the break that they are taken down.
Chew is desperately trying to save TikTok from growing bipartisan calls for a nationwide ban. The White House reportedly threatening one unless the company's Chinese owners sell their shares of the U.S. app. Chew won't agree to that, instead trying to convince lawmakers that TikTok can protect American users by handing control of their data to Texas-based company Oracle.
What you're doing down in Texas is all well and good, but it is not enough for us to be convinced that our privacy is not at risk.
My time is up, and if this committee gets its way, TikTok's time is up.
Now, some Democrats say Congress just needs to pass a data privacy bill that would include all of big tech. But Democratic Senator Mark Warner, who, along with Republican Senator John Thune, has proposed bipartisan legislation that would give the Commerce Secretary tools to ban TikTok. He says this app is inherently different because it is still owned by a Chinese company that answers to the CCP. On Capitol Hill, I'm Aisha Hasni, Fox News.
President Trump isn't letting up on his attacks against his possible 2024 GOP rival, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Meanwhile, President Biden has yet to announce his plans, but new polling provides a new glimpse at some of the challenges facing his administration. Fox's Lauren Blanchard has more from Washington.
The Republican Party infighting has already begun for the 2024 primary. Former President Trump has ramped up his attacks on Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who is polling second in most GOP primary polls. On his social media, posting, "Ron DeSanctimonious is the most overrated politician in America. His numbers on COVID, crime, and education are terrible, but nobody knows it. Now they do. He shouldn't even be running." DeSantis has not officially declared his candidacy and has largely, until now, ignored the former president's jabs.
You can call me whatever you want. I mean, just as long as you also call me a winner.
Some analysts say while President Trump is ahead in GOP polls, it won't be enough to put a Republican back in the Oval Office.
Republicans have to win independents, and Donald Trump has trouble with independents in a general election setting.
DeSantis is clearly trying to carve out a lane that he's got the policy and strength of Trump without the character problems.
Meanwhile, President Biden faces declining poll numbers as inflation remains high amid bank failures and economic concerns. A new Associated Press NORC poll has him at just 38% approval, down 7 points from last month. However, hypothetical matchup polls still have Biden beating Trump were they to face off again.
I'm kind of looking for back-to-back myself.
President Biden has yet to announce his re-election campaign, but his team is preparing for a potential summer announcement. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
All right, well, still to come on Fox 22 News at 10. Several celebrities are being charged hundreds of thousands of dollars by the Securities and Exchange Commission for undisclosed endorsements.
And in sports, Maine softball is back after a 2-week trip to California. They're gearing up for their very first conference series of the year. That story after the break. Stay with us.
Portland Timbers, LA Galaxy, Saturday at 4:30 Eastern on Fox.
Comfy, cozy, relaxing. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find rockers, recliners, sofas, and easy chairs. Quality furniture, affordable prices. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Here at Twin City Tire and Service, you will be working with industry professionals. We have ASE certified master technicians and certified tire and lube technicians. If we need your vehicle for a duration of time, we offer a complimentary shuttle service and can even offer a loaner vehicle. Being a client at Twin City Tire and Service means that we will treat you right. This includes a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on mechanical repairs. We also provide you with 1 year of complimentary roadside assistance. Come see us today at Twin City Tire and Service in Brewer.
With AAA Insurance, by bundling our home and auto policies, we saved over $450.
And we were shocked at the savings.
When we switched to AAA auto insurance and bundled our policies, we were able to save over $400 every year.
Switch to AAA insurance today, and you could save an average of $483 on auto insurance. Compare that to State Farm, Geico, even Allstate. Call now for your free AAA full picture quote to find out how much you could save.
Well, my passion is hang gliding. I've been doing it for over 30 years, and it's like flying. I mean, it's like everything you always dreamed about. AAA insurance helps us save more.
And do more.
The savings from AAA Insurance has allowed me to pursue my passion of making jewelry. It's great to have a little bit of extra cash to do something that you love.
To find out how much you could save by switching to AAA Insurance, call 866-460-1291 for your free AAA full picture quote today. You'll be glad you did.
Hewitt Lift and Rolodoc creates
the strongest, simplest, and most reliable dock system. With one simple goal:
to get you on the lake
faster and easier than anyone else.
Because at Hewitt, we build stronger.
After 40 years of quality building, we get it.
Hewitt family builds for your family.
For your family.
For your family.
Stand on the solid foundation of the Hewitt family.
Docks, pontoon legs, and boat lifts.
You work hard, play harder. You deserve a Hewitt.
Durable, sturdy, stylish. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find solid wood, built to last, made in Maine dressers, bureaus, and nightstands. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Celebrities Lindsay Lohan, Jake Paul, and others have just been charged by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Altogether, they're looking at paying up to $400,000 for their violation. The big names failed to announce they were being paid to promote cryptocurrency. They endorsed crypto company Tron on social media, and now they have to pay fines and pay back what they got for the advertisement. Other celebrities like Lil Yachty and Neo, as well as Akon, were also charged.
A book with a look into Dolly Parton's iconic style, a 30th anniversary super-powered reunion, and Vanderpump Rules drama. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has a look at this and more in the Hollywood Nation.
It's time for revenge! A Morphin reunion. Kitty gets a spinoff, and Dolly shares her style in the Hollywood Nation. Country icon Dolly Parton is sharing the story about her lifelong passion for fashion in Behind the Seams, My Life in Rhinestones. Parton shares she hopes fans will enjoy a look at her life in costume and hair and get to know some of the wonderful people that have helped shape her life and look. Behind the Seams is on sale October 17th and available for pre-order.
And I'll finally be free.
In today's First Looks, HBO Max released a trailer for the original documentary film Jason Isbell, Running with Our Eyes Closed. The singer-songwriter takes viewers through his creative process, recording his album Reunions, sharing his personal journey along the way. The doc premieres April 7th. Attention Power Rangers! Netflix released a new trailer for the 30th anniversary reunion special, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always, with the team facing the familiar threat of Rita Repulsa. It airs April 19th. This is fate. The streamer also shared a clip from To All the Boys I've Loved Before spin-off EXO Kitty, following the teen matchmaker moving halfway across the world to reunite with her long-distance boyfriend. The 10-episode series premieres May 18th.
You don't know what's going on between us.
And brace yourselves, Bravo fans, a Scandival update. Raquel Levis confirmed on her Instagram she will attend the Vanderpump Season 10 reunion. This follows the drama that has unfolded since news of her affair with co-star Tom Sandoval. A trailer released earlier this week showed heated confrontations still set to unfold on the show. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Looks like things could get a little dicey there.
Yeah, definitely a little drama going on.
A little drama. Alrighty then.
Well, let's hope there's not too much drama in our forecast coming up.
Yeah, that's fingers crossed on that one. And the full 5-day is coming up. Stay with us.
And once again, like deja vu, more rain and snow was in our forecast today. More clear weather will be back and more chances of snow. When and how much snow are we going to get? I'll have the answers coming up.
Sure, the driveway looks good now with the snow on it, but you know what will still be under there in the spring? The same cracks, crumbles, and potholes that were there before winter. Call Eaton Paving today. Let's make an appointment to fix those problems when the weather is ready. Eaton Paving and Excavation.
Rowell's Garage has been serving customers in the greater Dover-Foxcroft region since 1946. Our goal is not just selling you a vehicle, but also giving you quality service to maintain your vehicle at peak performance. Browse our inventory online or in person. Whether it's a car, truck, or SUV, we can put you in the vehicle that is right for you. Sales, service, and parts. Rowell's Garage. Doing business the right way every day. Whenever Maine Wood Floors wants to know the weather, they log on to foxbangor.com. Whether you're searching to add beauty with a new hardwood floor or need to restore your old one, Maine Wood Floors is your hardwood flooring expert in Mid-Coast Maine. Bangor Brewer bowling lanes on Wilson Street in Brewer, featuring 24 lanes of candlepin bowling and a big arcade room where kids can win great prizes. Glow bowling on Saturday nights from 7 until closing. Bring your entire family of fun entertainment for all ages.
News doesn't happen in a newsroom, it happens out here in our communities.
It's more than just the headlines, it's stories of regular people doing extraordinary things.
And every morning on Good Morning Maine, we'll bring you those unique stories.
Stories that you won't see anywhere else.
And no matter what your plans are, we'll keep you prepared with a look at your local weather forecast for the day ahead.
Better mornings start right here.
Weekday mornings starting at 6 on Fox 22's Good Morning Maine.
Sure, the driveway looks good now with the snow on it, but you know what will still be under there in the spring? The same cracks, crumbles, and potholes that were there before winter. Call Eaton Paving today. Let's make an appointment to fix those problems when the weather is ready. Eaton Paving and Excavation.
Don't miss host Lenny Kravitz, plus Taylor Swift, Pink, and more.
Thank you, iHeartRadio.
The iHeartRadio Music Awards this Monday live on Fox.
Happy Thursday and welcome back, folks. Our Maine weather is brought to you by C&K Variety. Stop by C&K Variety in Herman today for a hand-tossed pizza, subs, salads, and more. C&K Variety, your local go-to convenience store. What a mess out there today. Hopefully you folks had your umbrellas. I brought mine, so I stayed dry, but lots of flooding even in some places. Maybe not quite as intense, but with all that snow packed in the area north of town, there were a couple of spots that had some troubles with some rain, some runoff as well. Mostly snow up north, though. North of Greenville, north of Millinocket area, this was mostly snow. It's coming down pretty steadily and heavy in some cases. Most of the Northeast, it's pretty rainy right now. Boston is looking pretty clear, but take a look at upstate New York into PA. Same story into New Hampshire and Vermont. There is still some rain showers in the region. We're going to continue to have a couple of sprinkles into the early overnight hours. Then things start to clear up. We finally start to have some decrease in clouds. Then by tomorrow, we are in the clear. Deja vu happens on Saturday. Once again, another system moves in. It's going to be more of a rain and snow mix. As it continues to push east, we're going to transition from some rain showers into some snow, and then once again into some rain showers back on Sunday. So with this system right now, we have maybe another inch or two left closer to the Caribou area or maybe just to the west of town. But here in town, we are clear. Same story in Millinocket. Greenville is going to be pretty clear. Now things are winding down and things are going to start to improve the next several hours. Winds have finally started to improve. We had some pretty breezy conditions earlier this morning. Now things are looking really, really good, but winds will continue to pick up by tomorrow afternoon, where some places might even get close to 25, even 30 mile-an-hour wind gusts as well. That's why we have some small craft advisories by the coast. We do also have some dense fog advisories just west of town into Waterville, into Augusta, and that's going to be in effect until around midnight on Friday. And then winter weather advisories, same story, till around 4 a.m. on Friday as well. So those will be disappearing very shortly. Let's talk about these temperatures. It's officially our first Thursday of spring. Wow, how exciting, right? Temperatures around 42 degrees earlier today. Bar Harbor 43. We even had some 30s into Waterville, but look up north, Millinocket into Greenville, mid-30s with mostly snow falling, then transitioning into a little bit of a rain mix. Tonight, though, look at this. Things will finally improve. Don't worry, folks. We will have some sprinkles early. Then we will have some partly cloudy skies late. Temperatures around 34 degrees. It will continue to be a little bit on the breezy end. Tomorrow, though, 45 degrees, partly cloudy skies. Winds a bit on the breezy end. Still not looking too bad. Our extended forecast outlook does show lots of sunshine on Friday into Saturday. Saturday night into Sunday, we will have some rain and snow. Then we're in the clear Monday into Tuesday. Beth?
Alrighty, thanks so much, Conrad.
Yep, and sports is coming up next. Stay with us.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
Welcome to Kings Mountain RC and Hobby Shop in Brewer.
And some call me the King.
There are RC trucks, cars, crawlers, and parts aplenty. There are planes, metal detectors, and gear galore. I have decreed that all people can book birthday parties with their RC vehicles provided for all. We have indoor and outdoor tracks and crawling courses available. Bring yourself, your family, and friends to Kings Mountain RC and Hobby Shop, South Main Street, Brewer.
When it comes to the feud,
name a way a woman might say she likes her men and her cheese.
You either nail it,
sharp,
spicy, or fail it.
Full of adventure.
When you're at the grocery store, you want to find some adventurous cheese running around the dairy section.
Family Feud.
Where are you going? Stop all this adventure.
Weeknights at 7 on Fox 22.
Saturdays, baseball's best are showing out on Fox. This is where MVPs are VIPs, and where aces always come in pairs. Saturday means it's showtime for Shohei and mealtime for Manny. All the swag, all the salt, and all the slams. The biggest games on the best day of the week. Fox Saturday Baseball returns April 1st.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
Tonight's Sports is brought to you by Engstrom's Auto Service in Guilford. We specialize in all foreign and domestic service and alignments.
Hey everybody, Ryan Sudol here. Thank you so much for joining us. Maine softball is back from a 2-week-long road trip in California, and they're taking what they learned out west as they gear up for America East play. Tyler Cruz has the story.
We've had a lot of really good experiences on the road. It was a tough schedule, and we knew that going into it. The whole purpose was to prepare.
After 10 games in 14 days in California, Maine softball is back on the East Coast with some confidence and a true sense of who they are.
After coming back from this trip, I feel like after a couple good wins, we really found ourselves and what we decided that we wanted to play like for the upcoming year.
I think we learned that we can compete with anyone. I mean, these girls in California get to play every day outside in the sunshine, and we're inside in a building, and
I think it just shows that we can compete with anyone.
One of the big things for the Black Bears this season isn't on the field at all. It's all up here, switching from that underdog mentality to the top dog.
There's really no expectations for the underdog. And so this year, we said, no, we're going to be top dogs. And, top dogs have expectations. They're expected to win every day. They're expected to, do the little things right.
We've always been the underdog school, so we're deciding to kind of revert that and be the top dogs this year. And I think it's been really good for our morale.
And in a week from Friday, the Black Bears will cut the ribbon right here. Their brand new softball facility with the home opener set for Saturday, and there aren't words to describe how much this will do for the program.
We've seen it on paper a lot, and just to finally see it in real life is awesome. And I think the girls 100% deserve this.
We're working really hard here at UMaine, and to see that pay off in the end is really nice, and it actually attracts more softball players from the South, from the West to come to Maine because now we have the facilities to be at the best.
And with a state-of-the-art facility comes state-of-the-art expectations. But that's not news to them.
And they know that, but I think they are also taking a lot of pride in it, and they want to show people, why they deserve this new field, and the expectation of, having this new field is, winning.
With a brand new stadium on your back, it helps. If you look good, you play good. So
in Orono, I'm Tyler Cruz, ABC 7, Fox 22 Sports.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Okay, let's stay on the diamond and move on to Husson, where Eagles baseball is starting to wrap up their non-conference schedule after what has been an up-and-down start to the season. After starting 3-3, they've lost 3 of 4, including getting swept last weekend by Salve Regina. Despite that, of course, the team is grateful for the chance to face the competition to prepare them for NAC play. But they're especially happy because it's a great way for the team's new phases, like local kids Hunter Curtis and Keegan Sear, to gear up for the rest of their college careers.
I think it's just great for our young guys to see the competition that we're going to be playing when we get to a regional setting or into our conference tournament. Just getting those guys used to college baseball, and they're just going to grow.
I've seen a lot of freshmen have that go-get-'em attitude, which I love, and that's one of the big things is that a lot of the guys, younger guys, have that go-get-'em attitude.
The whole team will need that attitude Sunday in their doubleheader against Mitchell College, a team that is receiving national votes. It's their toughest test thus far, but as long as they focus on the less exciting aspects of their game, the Eagles feel they can compete.
Big thing we've talked about all the time is just do the little things. When we come to practice, just be really good at the boring, we say, and just take that into a game setting and just go from there.
Every game's a new game. As long as we play our baseball, I fully believe that we can go out and compete, and we can beat them just like any other team.
Okay, now let's move on to something really, really cool in Maine college hockey. The University of New England men's ice hockey team is in Beverly, Massachusetts, getting ready for Friday afternoon's national semifinal game against Adrian College. Here you see the Nor'easters leaving from the Harold Alphon Forum on Thursday morning. The team getting a special escort to the highway, courtesy of the Biddeford Police and Fire Departments. The team is now just 2 wins away from a first ever national championship. And with Endicott College just 90 minutes away from UNE, the Nor'easters are expecting a raucous home crowd despite being on the road.
This year it might even be a little bit more exciting because we're just right down the road. We're at Endicott, an hour and a half from campus here. So, a lot of people who weren't able to make the trip last year to Lake Placid are planning to come to Boston this weekend to watch us play.
It's obviously great being able to play in a building that you've been in before, that you're familiar with. It's great for our families. Obviously, it's a lot easier to travel somewhere that is reoccurring on the schedule.
That's all the time we have for sports. I'm Ryan Sudol. We'll be back right after the break.
Tonight's Stock Report is brought to you by Maine Valve, with more than 30 years of experience across the state of Maine, providing top quality real estate services.
Celebrate Ram Truck Month at Quirk Ram in Bangor and Belfast. Lease the reliable Ram 1500 Classic Warlock Quad Cab for $429 per month. It's your Ram truck. Find it at Quirk.
Bring your vision and enjoy better light and added security and energy savings with quality windows and doors from Hammond Lumber Company, your building project partner.
Since 1950, Fairhaven Camps, located in Brooks, Maine, has provided quality Christian summer camping experiences to young people from Maine and beyond. At Fairhaven Camps, we empower youth from ages 6 through 17 to seek the truth of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Fairhaven Camps offers day or overnight camps as well as horsemanship and wilderness camps. Fairhaven Camps is now hiring for summer staff and accepting registration for campers. To sign up, apply, or donate, please visit www.fairhavencamps.org or call us today.
This is how legends are made. Chevy Silverado and new Silverado HD. Choose your own path with the #1 best-selling retail full-size pickup and see where it takes you. Find new roads. Get 3.9% financing plus current Chevy owners get $2,500 cash allowance on this Silverado, or qualified lessees with a current eligible lease can get this Silverado for $399 a month.
The FlexSteel Spring Semi-Annual Sale is in full bloom, with fresh savings on fabric and leather reclining and stationary furniture, tables, beds, desks, dressers, and more. Furniture that comforts, furniture that endures, all with a blue steel spring at its core. FlexSteel, designed for living, built for life. Save big today during FlexSteel Spring Semi-Annual Sale.
Dorsey Furniture, open 7 days a week, Route 1A Holden.
Mom and Dad, you must be so proud.
We're proud of all of our children.
She has to say that. Just a heads up, this is my good side.
Yeah.
Bazinga, bazinga, bazinga.
Ah! Are you trying to kill me?
Weekdays at 6 on Fox 22.
It's your journey. Own every mile in an available H-Track all-wheel drive Hyundai SUV.
Lease the 2023 Hyundai Santa Fe SE for $339 per month. It's your Hyundai. Find it at Quirk.
You just wait around a minute, something awful's bound to happen. You saved me. That's what we're here for.
911 Lone Star, Tuesday on Fox.
Finally tonight, cell phone and surveillance videos show an uncommon sight in New York City. Check this out, a cow running through the streets. It took place Tuesday in Brooklyn. The cow escaped a truck outside of a slaughterhouse. People from the slaughterhouse and a nearby pizzeria chased the animal down. The slaughterhouse was going to try to keep the cow, but they were contacted by an animal sanctuary in New Jersey. So the cow is being spared and will now live out its days at the sanctuary instead. So a really happy ending to that hectic story.
Yeah, I'll say it's definitely not something you see every day in Brooklyn. That is for sure. Cow running down the street,
yeah,
not so much.
Yeah, you can see a lot of things in the city, but
a lot of things, not necessarily that, unless you're in the meatpacking district.
Right.
Right.
More like the meat unpacking district.
Well, that cow unpacked itself.
Yeah,
good for him.
Really did.
All righty.
Oh, man.
Well, that is going to do it for us, folks, from everybody here at Fox 22. Take care and have a great rest of your night.
Good night, everyone.
For more local news coverage, switch over to our sister station, ABC7, right now for ABC7 News at 11.
If you're going to work out doing this, then you've just got to do this. The 10-minute tummy tuck to slim away double the belly fat. That's right. Now you can turn regular diet and exercise into 2 times more effective. So if you're going to do this, then you've got to do this to get twice the fat slimming.
It's just disappeared. The fat is gone. I've never had a waist this size. Never. And with the tummy tuck, it's easy.
You simply apply the thermal accelerator. Slide on the tummy tuck belt, do 2 minutes of tummy tightener exercises, and in 10 minutes, you can take it off. And the tummy tuck ignites a fat-burning chain reaction that lasts for hours, even while you're doing nothing. Yes, just watch this time-lapse thermal imaging. After the belt is taken off, the temperature continues to rise for over 3 hours. And best of all, you don't have to wear the belt when you exercise. Just do the tummy tuck in the morning, then exercise whenever you want.
It's so amazing. I can't get over it. The fat is disappearing.
And it's so effective, it works even without changing your lifestyle.
I didn't change